Hello, fourth graders. I'm going to show you how to make these rainbow shapes. And when we do these, we're going to be not only learning about shape, but concentric lines. So when something is concentric, it is repeating and having a common center. So for example, a target would be a concentric circle. These would be concentric stars. So when we're going to start with some shapes, and then we're going to keep repeating it, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you get this really cool optical illusion effect where these almost look three-dimensional. You can see where I was really careful and stopped at the same point. These parts look like they're going in and like they're three-dimensional. And then we're also going to color these. I started this example one with the color spectrum. So we're going to use the colors of the rainbow. We'll go over that before we start coloring, where we're going to fill the entire page. So you can see even when I ran out of space for the star, I just kept on filling in with more lines. So the entire thing when you're done is going to be filled with those concentric lines. So first of all, you're going to get a piece of paper, and you can use any shape that you want. You can do this with pencil. I recommend for the first starting shapes that you use a pencil. If you want to use a marker for the rest of it, you can, or you can use a pencil. It is totally up to you. But I do want you to do the shape that you pick 3 times. 3 times. I did stars before. You could do hearts, diamonds. You could keep it simple and have circles, squares. You could just make up a shape if you want to. That's okay too. But they have to be similar to kind of go along with the theme. So I think on this one, I'm going to make 3 diamonds. And I'm going to make them kind of big, but I want to make sure I leave some room for those concentric lines. So there's 1. I might tip this one kind of going at an angle. 2. And I think I'm going to make this one go this way. So trying to spread them out across your page, but leave some room between them where those concentric lines are going to be. And notice I made them big, but not too big, not too small. They're just about right. That there's 3 of them. Next step, I can continue with this pencil. I want to do the rest of this with a marker so you can see it more clearly. So I'm going to first start by tracing over the diamonds that I already have. I think it's great to just go with this if you are going to use a marker instead of doing everything with a pencil and then going over everything with a marker, because that's a lot of lines to go over and it will take you twice as long. So if anything, go over the first ones, do the first ones with pencil and then go over them with a marker if you choose. And you don't have to use a Sharpie like I do. You can just use a regular washable marker. If you are going to use marker, use what you have on hand. Okay, now I have that done. Now I'm going to start repeating. I'm just going to start working with one of these and kind of focus on it for a while. So I'm going to repeat these lines that I did, but I'm going to make it bigger. So I'm going to stretch it a little bit further each time. See these lines. And I'm going to close it. And it's okay if it is not perfect. Even I have mistakes on mine, and I'm an art teacher. So once you have all these lines on here and have it colored, little mistakes are not going to be that noticeable. All right, I'm just going to keep on going until I touch the top of the page. And then I'll keep on going on the edge. I might even start another one. And it's okay if it's a little skinny on one side, and maybe it's going to make it more interesting when you have a little bit of variation or differences on there. Okay, I'm going to go over to this one, and then I'm going to keep on going and working on these back and forth until they kind of grow into each other. I'm going to show you what happens when they bump into each other and what I want you to do. So just keep on going. I'm going to try to do this a little bit faster for the sake of time, so you don't want to have to watch a 20-minute video of me drawing. I'm going to try to go a little bit faster. Okay, so I bumped into this one. I stopped when I got to this one, and I'm going to imagine where it's going to come out on the other side, like a train going through a tunnel. And then I'm going to keep on going. So when I do this again, I'm going to start here at this one, and imagine it would come out from behind there, stop, and then go down, and then it's going to scoot that up, you can see it. It's going to come up here and over. So I just keep on doing that. I might stop there for a moment and then come back to it because I want to work on this one before I run out of room for it. And I'm going to keep on going. This one won't have as much room. This will be smaller, but that's okay. Like I said, those little differences will add a little bit of interest because we already have some repetition. Repetition is one of our principles of art. We have repetition with the fact that we're using the same shape 3 times and repeating it. So if you have a little variation in the size, that will make it interesting to look at. Okay, so I would keep on going. You can see I have a lot of what we call negative space here. So basically what we're doing with these concentric lines is we're filling in this negative space. When we're done, we want it to look like this, and you can see there's no negative space. And in fact, the positive space almost becomes the negative space, especially when we're not coloring in the center. So just keep on going until you filled it up all the way, like I've done with this one. And then you're going to start coloring them in. And I'm going to let you choose what you want to color these in with because I like to give you choices. That's the great thing about being an artist is that you get to make the choice of what it's going to look like. I've used crayons, and I was even lucky enough to find the big crayon box that my son has, and I, by accident, found a green glittery crayon. I don't know if you can see it glitter, so I thought that was pretty good, especially since it's a star and it has a little shine. You can use color pencils. You can use markers. It is your choice which you use, but I do want you to color these with the rainbow. And so I think I'm going to start, I started with red here. I'm going to do the opposite here because like I said, I like a little variation even though it's the same and I'm doing rainbow. So I started with red. You can see here near the center. I'm not going to color the center. The first one is going to be this one right here. So I'm going to start with purple. And I will load up the song Roy G. Biv for you and you can see the video. It's a pretty catchy song that helps you remember the order of the rainbow. We are just going to, unless you have an indigo, we're going to skip having indigo in our rainbows. We're just going to do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. But if you want to add indigo into your rainbow, you can. But not all the marker sets or color pencil sets may have indigo. Okay, so after purple, I'm moving this backwards this time, is blue. So you just keep on going with the order. And if you go through them, you can see, I don't know if you see on this one, but I went through red, orange, I went through all the colors. I ran out of space, so I just kind of kept on going with the pattern I started. So I'm going to do blue. And then after blue would be green. So I would just keep on coloring these in until all of it's filled up. You may not get done with this today, at the first day. This might be a 2-day project to color it all in, but I would at least like you to get all of the, on the day 1, all of the lines drawn. And maybe you started coloring, but at least if you get the lines drawn, the next time you can color. This will be kind of a work in progress. And it's a lot of fun to color. We are going to leave the centers white, and that's going to have a little emphasis, another one of our other principles art, on those shapes. If we leave those blank and everything else is colored, the focus will be on those original shapes. And these are going to look really awesome when they're done. So I can't wait to see how yours turn out and what shapes you choose for yours. And I will see you soon. Bye.